Carrie Hummingbird and Valerie Sheppard live on Skills Not Pills Movement on this gorgeous Friday, May 18th. And I welcome you all to be here with us today. I was so excited. And look at Valerie. Valerie's broadcasting from the beach.
Yes. One of my favorite places on the planet to be is near the ocean, and that's where I am.
I love the ocean. I love it too. I live vicariously with you right now by the ocean.
Come in, bring all that energy. We'll just do an energy transfer.
I want the energy transfer. I love the beach. So you guys, it's so exciting because Valerie is an amazing individual. She is going to talk to us a little bit today about how to raise your consciousness so you can live happy to be me. And, you know, tomorrow, actually, on Skills Not Pills, on Saturday the 19th, is when Valerie's recorded teaching goes live on Skills Not Pills Summit. So you can actually tune in, like sign up today at skillsnotpills.com, and you will actually, skillsnotpillsmovement.com, excuse me, and you will actually get Valerie's interview tomorrow in your email box at 7 a.m. Central. So
Do it.
yes, do it right now. But in the meantime, you can enjoy our conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about how to be happy no matter what is going on in your life. And so Valerie has a lot to share about this. She is a catastrophic stroke survivor, is inspirational keynote speaker, university lecturer, and CEO of the Heart of Living Vibrantly Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And she has a #1 Amazon bestseller, Living Happy to Be Me, to guide young people and adults, executives and entrepreneurs to happiness, success, and fulfillment. And it's the centerpiece of her transformational practice. And she actually has a partnership with the University of California, Irvine, where she's piloting a consciousness-raising content in a curriculum called Living 101, Being Happy and Whole. We need stuff like this out there in the world. Valerie, thank you for doing this work in the world and enjoying yourself in the process. Look, everybody, she's enjoying herself. See how happy she is to be me?
Thank you so much, Carrie. I'm really grateful to be a part of this summit. And you know, why am I doing this here? Because I truly believe that one of the issues with being happy is that we are trying to disintegrate our lives. Like we have a personal and a professional and a kids, a thing that we do to the family and stuff that we do alone. And you know, part of my message is you can't really do that. No wonder we're disintegrating. We need to bring our lives together. We're the same person in all those spaces and trying to be whole as that same person no matter where I go. And so for me, it's kind of like, I need to do this interview. I want to do this interview, and I need to go to the beach, and I want to be at the Blues Festival. And so they can happen together as long as I've got, and with technology today, I can do anything. So maybe not on the top of Mount Everest, but you know, here I am, and I'm taking a stand for bringing your worlds together, like that alignment in the center of your chest, like at your heart space. Bring it all into a beautiful stew.
I love that. I love that because it's true. The technology affords us that ability to really kind of pull apart how we think about our lives in these like silos or containers, and like just kind of get rid of that model and think about it now in terms of flow and moments and how they all weave together.
Yes, and for me, you know, it's like there's a big train going by. I'm not just one thing at one time through one channel, you know. I know what I'm here on the planet to do, and I'm doing it all the time and learning from what I'm doing all the time and embodying what I'm teaching all the time. So to me, that's how we create the highest level of consciousness, conscious awareness, present moment engagement that brings more happiness to the planet.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, that's part of the message that you and I talked about another time, where you realized that you had a lot of wisdom to share. And I think you had just written your book, and then you actually got tested in being the deeper embodiment of all that wisdom. Tell us a little bit more about how you've been your best student of your own teachings?
Sure. The stroke has been a really awesome opportunity for me to double down. I say, like from poker or from blackjack, double down on my bet, on um, the teachings that I deliver, that I share around how to be happy and fulfilled and whole, feel whole, in spite of whatever the five senses can read around us. You know, we're really good at noticing things and sometimes, and like speaking out our judgments about them. And that's not all there is on the planet, what we can see and experience with our five senses. And so when I had this stroke, it's coming up on 3 years now on June 5th, and I am still experiencing the aspects of the stroke that are probably in my list of things I don't want to experience. You know, I have nerve stuff going on all the time, and I'm still learning how to kind of get my balance and use my body. In fact, I was thinking last night, I don't remember what my body felt like before the stroke.
Wow.
I really don't. I was trying to think, is this the way it, I know this isn't the way it moved, but I don't know what it felt like. It's like that is so long ago. And what this has really given me an opportunity to do is to say, and even so, I'm as happy as I can be. And even so, I'm finding a way to be where I want to be and do what I want to do. And even so, there is more. There's more to my life than the physical body. There is more to my life than one moment of not so great experience.
Yeah, because it's really fluid, this life of ours. And I think what you're experiencing in your own body is the truth of that. That we can make up stories in our minds and try to hold on to the past, but actually that's already evaporated.
Well, you know, it's really interesting that you say that. In my book, I have a step 2 is about shaking up and releasing the things that aren't serving you. And there's a little part of that section where I talk about like all of your great memories from the past. And people are like, why should I let those go? And I said, well, it's not that you shouldn't think about them ever again. It's that you have to be careful anchoring in on them, because what you're doing then is trying to create today to match that. And there are two things wrong with that. One is you're carrying an assumption that that was the happiest you've ever been, and you might want to surpass that, even though it was fantastic. But the other thing is, if for some reason what's going on now doesn't match that, how do you feel? Like, how is your present moment experience impacted? And would that be different if you weren't anchored so much on trying to match it? Like, I've got to have a mirror image, and that was so much fun. And you know, this is the I don't know, 7th or 8th time I've been at the Doheny Blues Festival in Dana Point, California. This is the 3rd time I've camped, and it's very different experience, and I'm having a blast. And it doesn't have to be the same or better than the last time. Just I can experience in the absolute, and that's what that's all about. Like, can you let go of things that are holding you in a vibration that, even if it was good, may not be serving you?
May not be serving you, yes. You know, I know this one, Valerie. I know this one really well, because there was a time in my life that there was a brief time that I was intensely doing this, but I went through this experience, like probably 39 to 42-ish, 41, a couple years, where I kept reliving a moment I had over and over and over and over, and I wasn't happy unless I was reliving that moment in my mind, like again and again. And I was getting really upset because I could feel it slipping away, even though I kept trying to bring it back. It kept going, and I was like, no, come back. And it kept going, and it really kept me in a holding pattern. Like, it created a lot of dis-ease in my life and in my mind and in my body and in my being, because I couldn't let it go. I couldn't let it be. I had to keep trying to pull it back into the now.
It can be very disruptive. You know, it's really a blessing that I can't really truly remember what my body worked, how it worked, because all I have is to deal with the way my body's working now, and um, many times it's not what I want, and at the same time I can still have a really great experience with it. I'm, you know, learning how to take care of the things that show up. What do I do about the nerve tingling? What do I do when my right hand doesn't work? My left hand's gotten really proficient, and you know, I'm ambidextrous now, and to make that okay. You know, when I first had the stroke, someone suggested that I join a stroke support group because I wasn't sure where this was all going. And I did, and I went a couple times. And then vowed to myself, I'm never going back there. And it was because the experience I had, this doesn't have to be true, but the experience that I had of my time in the stroke support group was that the, many of the people there were anchored in on what they could no longer do before. And they were in lamentation, anger, judgment, and frustration toward the body. Like, this is your vessel. Like, it needs your love no matter what's going on. And